what's up guys? Today we're going to talk to you about Cape Coral, Florida.
Yes, and what we're going to do is we're going to pull up a map and we're going to show you where all the boating is. We're going to talk about canals, where the shopping is, basically everything that you need to know about Cape Coral. And if you stick around to the end, we're going to do a market update so you know what it costs to buy a home here in Cape Coral.
Right after this.
Hi there, if you're new here and you want to know all there is to know about living, eating, biking, boating, beaching, scuba diving,
Shopping, buying a home.
buying a home here in sunny Southwest Florida, you've come to the right place. Just hit that subscribe button below and hit that bell button over on the side. And what happens is whenever we put out new content about Southwest Florida and specifically about living here, you'll be notified whenever we put that content out. My name is Doug Lugers.
I'm Lona Lugers.
We're real estate experts and we've lived here for many years and helped many people move from all over the country and actually some other places in the world to this beautiful paradise in Southwest Florida. And we want to help you if you're interested in that as well. Today we're going to talk about Cape Coral and specifically how it's laid out, where there's shopping, where the boating is. We're going to talk about biking, basically everything you need to know. Now, just as a little disclaimer, this isn't the most exciting video ever because we're going to pull up a Google map and we're going to be talking about that, but it is going to be super detailed.
It will be educational and super informative.
Absolutely. So without further ado, let's just get to it.
Okay, here we are on the map and we're showing you Cape Coral, Florida. Let me get a couple things sorted out here. Okay, cool. All right, so I got Cape Coral, Florida pulled up on the map here. And me and my lovely wife are going to explain all we think you'll need to know about Cape Coral, Florida. So with that said, let's talk about the population of Cape Coral, Florida.
Yeah, so the population of Cape Coral is just under 210,000 residents.
Yeah, and the reason why we felt like you want to know, one, maybe that does mean something to you in terms of where you're coming from and, population. Kind of gives you an idea of the size of the city. But another reason we wanted to tell you about it is because Cape Coral and Florida in general is growing super fast. It's grown 35% since the last Census Bureau report. And it's projected to be built out, fully built out. They used to say it was going to be 30 years. But as of the last couple of years, it's been building so fast and it's sped up so fast that now they're saying that Cape Coral is going to be built out in the next 11 to 15 years, which has got Cape Coral scrambling to prepare for this build out.
Yes, absolutely. New construction has just been booming prior to COVID and since COVID, it has just exploded, you guys. I think another little fun fact about Cape Coral that a lot of people don't know, and I know that my customers are always surprised when I tell them this, is that Cape Coral is the second largest city in Florida landmass wise. It's just under 120 square miles. And people don't really realize that because you don't see a lot of tall buildings or skyscrapers in the Cape. It's actually known as a bedroom community to Fort Myers, but it is just huge and massive in size.
Yeah, 120 square miles, right? So let's kind of talk about real quick the surrounding areas of Cape Coral. So like what is around Cape Coral? So to our west, we have what's called Pine Island, and Pine Island's made up of St. James City and Boca. It's a really laid back island that's kind of stuck in time.
Yeah, so if you drive over to Pine Island, it really reminds you of old Florida. It's still in its natural state of beauty. It has tons of palm tree farms and mango farms and things like that. And I love the untouched look that it offers. I just love all that nature.
Yeah. And then to the west of that, you have Cayo Costa State Park, which is Lona and I's favorite place to boat to because it's a state park and you want to get there by boat. And then you have some other little islands in here. And then you got Captiva, Sanibel Island. Sanibel and Captiva are very popular. A lot of people know about Sanibel having white sand beaches with the best shelling.
Yeah, the best shelling. in the nation, I believe.
Yeah, and then just to the east of that a little ways, you have Fort Myers Beach, and then Fort Myers right here to the east. And in between Fort Myers and Cape Coral, you have what's called the Caloosahatchee River. So that's a really important part, and that will be brought up in a lot of discussions if you live here. And then you have North Fort Myers just to the north, and Punta Gorda and Port Charlotte to the north of Cape Coral. So I want to kind of give you an idea of the boundaries of Cape Coral. And then how do people get here to Cape Coral? People get here, if you're driving, you come down I-75 mostly. That's the road route. That's the way in and the way out. And that's important because you want to know that during hurricanes and things. That's how people get out of here. And then airplane wise or flying in, we have two major airports that most people come into. We have RSW, which is the Fort Myers Airport. And that's located right over here in Fort Myers. And then we have...
It's probably a good idea to note that that is an international airport.
Yeah, great point. International airport. So you get a lot of flights to most places right out of here. And then you have a small regional airport up here in Punta Gorda. And it's a little regional airport, but you can fly out of there really cheap through Allegiant. So that's another popular airport, and it's only about 45 minutes to the north of Cape Coral, which is really cool. Another really cool thing from a location standpoint in Cape Coral that I think people should know is that Cape Coral is only like 2 hours from Miami. So if I zoom out on the map here, you can drive from Cape Coral over here to Miami, Fort Lauderdale in about 2 hours. You can drive up to Tampa, Sarasota, Siesta Key, St. Pete, Clearwater, all this area in about 2 hours. And then you can drive up to Orlando in 3 hours. So if we got any Disney fans, watching us or whatever, there's 3 hours there. And then one of our favorite things is Lona and I like to take a boat. We're going to do a video on this in the future. It's a ferry that leaves Fort Myers Beach. It's called the Key West Express. And Key West Express leaves from Fort Myers Beach and heads on down here to the Key West. You can go down there and spend as much time as you want. Boat runs twice a day and spend time in the Keys.
So just really a great centralized area to get to some of the most beautiful beaches in the nation and some of the most popular larger cities in Florida too.
Yeah, the larger cities. And I guess another reason I brought that up, because I was talking about airports right before that. There's a lot of major airports around there. And all those cities that we just named, they have major international airports. So no matter where you need to go in the world, it's relatively easy to get here, especially if you're flying. So I just wanted to bring that up. And then let's talk about Cape Coral as it's laid out and its quadrants.
Sure.
Because that's probably one of the most important things about Cape Coral. Newbies don't really know, and they have kind of a hard time trying to figure it out, right? It takes a little bit of time. And what we're talking about there is Cape Coral's broken down into quadrants. It's the Southwest Cape, the Southeast Cape, the Northwest Cape, and the Northeast Cape. And so when you're looking at homes specifically, it's going to be in one of those four quadrants, and depending on where it is, really affects the price, right?
Oh, for sure.
Really affects the boating access, really affects a lot of things. So it's really, we're going to give you a shortcut. We're going to teach you what those boundaries are. So Lona, you want to talk to them about the boundaries?
So yeah, if you're looking at the map here and you're trying to decide, what are those quadrants? Where are the boundary lines? I think a quick and easy way to remember that is the Cape is split up into those four quadrants, and the lines are just about Santa Barbara Boulevard. Can you draw a line there, Doug?
Yep.
To show them Santa Barbara.
Yep, Santa Barbara Boulevard right here.
Yeah. And then the next dividing line would be Pine Island Road.
So this road up here. So this Pine Island, and it cuts across the Hancock Bridge and goes across just like that. So this is the other line. So
that's perfect. So yeah, if you can kind of draw an imaginary line through the Cape on those two roadways, then that will show you how the quadrants are lined up.
Yep. So when I zoom out a little bit, it's a little easier to tell the Northwest and Northeast Cape. So this is the north. This would be the Northwest Cape, and then this would be the Northeast Cape right up here, just above Pine Island Road. And then, so everything below this line right here is Southeast and Southwest Cape. So you got Southwest Cape right here, and then the Southeast Cape right here. Okay. And that's important again, because we're going to talk a lot about, boating access and things like that. And depending on what quadrant you're in, depends on what your boating access and things are like.
Yeah.
That.
And since we're talking about the quadrants, I think it's probably important to mention that so the south part of the Cape was actually developed first, guys. So that's where, there's some older homes in the Southwest Cape. Some people like the northwest part of the Cape because they feel like homes are a little bit newer over there. There's still a lot more vacant lots available in the Northwest Cape to build your dream home on. And the south part of the Cape is pretty much at capacity already.
Yeah, this part right here. Yep. So this right here, this southeast part of the Cape is generally considered one of the, I would say, if not the most desirable, because that's kind of hard to measure, but it is one of the more desirable. And what you're going to find right here, if I zoom in, see if I can, there we go. Right here, this specific part right here, which is just south of Cape Coral Parkway. And right here, this is called the Yacht Club, right? By the way, backing up just a little bit, if you see all these blue lines here, all these blue lines represent the canal system.
We're going to talk more about that in just a minute.
And so when you're seeing all these canals, you can kind of see why the Yacht Club and why it's called the Yacht Club is because it has a ton of canals. And like Lona said, it's one of the first areas that was built out. They didn't really expect that area to be the first area to be built out. They really thought another area was going to be built out first. The planners did, but they were surprised when people wanted to be here first. So there you go. That's that part.
Yeah. So when the Cape was designed and developed, it was coined the waterfront wonderland. And the reason for that is, and the reason that it's so desirable to so many people, is it's literally a boater's paradise. So the Cape offers over 400 miles of canals, and some of those are freshwater canals. Many of those are Gulf access canals, so you can get your boat out to the beach. So no matter what your preference is there, the Cape has a little bit of something to offer for everyone. And it has more canals than anywhere else in the world, even Venice, Italy, you guys.
Yeah, stole my thunder there. That's what I was going to say. Another fun fact. But yes, more than Venice, Italy, more Gulf access canals than Venice, Italy. So we got the best boating and fishing in the world. A lot of people say it may not be what it used to be, but there's still an amazing area to boat fish. Personally, I like to scuba dive. Lona loves the beach, and that's what we do as much as we can. So let's talk about shopping and like the commercial area. So if somebody's moving here, first off, like Lona said a little while ago, this is considered a bedroom community. When you come to Cape Coral, one thing, if you drive around the area and you get off the commercial areas, you're going to notice it's like one huge subdivision that just keeps going and going and going, like houses and whatever. They're just all over the place here. So it's called a bedroom community because there's a lot of industry in Cape Coral, and that's growing. But Fort Myers is an older city, and there's more industry over there. There's more shopping centers and shopping malls, the major shopping malls, the airport, all that's in Fort Myers. So people travel from Cape Coral over there a lot to go shopping and go to the malls and stuff like that. But I want to show you, if you move here, what areas are the commercial areas. So you want to talk about that a little bit, and I'll highlight it.
Yeah, for sure. So your commercial roadways or areas are going to be Del Prado Boulevard.
This is Del Prado right here.
So, it does still offer some shopping. You can hit up TJ Maxx off of Del Prado. There's a Walmart Supercenter there. There's also a Home Goods, Ulta, things like that. And Del Prado just has a lot going on. Like there's just business after business after business on Del Prado. So yes. A lot of great restaurants along that road as well.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the busier roads that you know, if you don't like traffic, that you'll end up wanting to get off. But that's just because that's where so much industry is. And then that road runs north to south, and then you have Cape Coral Parkway to the south of that.
Yeah, so Cape Coral Parkway is also another commercial type road, and that's actually where downtown Cape Coral is located. So your restaurants, little boutique shops, nightlife, and things like that, that's where you're going to find that sort of stuff along Cape Parkway.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, just so anybody watching, if you see these logos on here, the hearts and things like that, those are places that Lona and I frequent and places that we want to go visit. These are our favorite places to visit. And so just ignore those. We'll tell you about those places in later videos and do reviews on them and stuff like that. But just so you know, this is our Google map, and that's what it's showing you there. And then what about Pine Island Road, Lona?
Pine Island Road is another very busy commercial road. So again, restaurants, shopping, you can see there's a Kohl's there. Let's see, what else is a Sam's Club, Gator Mike's Family Fun Park. We have a new place called Farmer Joe's, which is amazing. If you guys have ever heard of Trader Joe's, Farmer Joe's is like a sister company of Trader Joe's. So they have all of the fresh fruits and vegetables and meats and things like that are farmed right here in Florida and brought in there.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, and this is a growing area. I think most of the space to grow in Cape Coral is all up here north. Most of the south has been built out, but if you come up north, you're starting to get a little bit more rural. You get a lot more building lots. And so you're starting to see more industry come along this area right here.
Oh, and car dealerships. That's where all the car dealerships are in the Cape too.
Yep. Exactly, on Pine Island Road. So what else? Let's see. Just so you know, this is Veterans Road. So the bridge right here to the south is Cape Coral Parkway Bridge. And then there's to the north of that is called the Midpoint Bridge because it's in the middle. And then you have the North Fort Myers Bridge. I don't know if there's a name for it, but it connects North Fort Myers to downtown Fort Myers. So some people come over that bridge. These are toll bridges. These two right here, Midpoint and Cape Coral Bridge. But this Midpoint Bridge connects what's called Veterans Highway. And this is a highly trafficked road that's kind of like that midpoint that you can get across the Cape really fast. And there is some commercial stuff as you go along some of these roads right here, like on Skyline and things like that. You'll find gas stations and some things being built out, but nothing major like the other areas or other roads that we mentioned.
Well, we talked about Santa Barbara in the beginning, right? So I just wanted to point out that Santa Barbara, right off of Santa Barbara, there is a Sunsplash family water park. So if you're considering moving to the area and you have kids and they like to go to water slides and pools and things like that, you'll love Sunsplash Water Park. Yeah,
it is awesome. It's an awesome addition that they put here in Cape Coral. Let's talk about downtown. Where's the nightlife and things like that, the festivals and stuff? Where does Cape Coral do all that stuff? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, so that's on Cape Coral Parkway, you guys. So going back to the south end of the Cape, kind of right there where you see most of our hearts, actually. That is the best place, in my opinion, for nightlife. You know, a lot of the bars and restaurants are there. We have a world famous cigar bar. Right behind Cape Parkway is 47th Terrace. And that's where they close the roadway down and they do like bike night. So if you're into motorcycles, we have a bike night every so often. They shut that down and do art walks there. Just all kinds of events. Cape throws a big 4th of July red, white, and boom party every year. And that's a little bit closer down to the Cape Coral Bridge where they let off all the fireworks and stuff over the water. So if you see that bridge kind of lead you right into the Cape through Cape Coral Parkway.
Yeah.
What else did I forget?
No, I think it's just what happens is, and this is kind of a shock to a lot of new residents and stuff, when they shut down Cape Coral Parkway, because it's such a major road, they'll shut this thing down and reroute traffic around it, because when they shut it down, that everybody's out here walking along, just enjoying all that Cape Coral has to offer in this downtown area. And Southwest 47th right there is just another area where you're going to find, it goes parallel with Cape Coral Parkway, and it's kind of like a sub street, if that's a real term. And you're going to see a lot of stuff on that.
Yeah,
road.
so eating, a lot of great restaurants there, craft beer bars, wine bars. Again, the world famous cigar bar, which Doug's a big fan of.
Yes, yeah, I like cigars and bourbon, so you find me down there, and craft beer. But you'll also find the trolley. They do trolleys, and they'll do, restaurant trolleys or craft beer trolleys and wine trolleys, I think.
Yeah, so they do like tours for different occasions, different holidays. So they'll have like a Mardi Gras trolley, and it'll stop you at a lot of the different bars and restaurants in the Cape or in the downtown area specifically. And they usually have like a little snack and a little drink, sample of something set up for you to try. So that is a lot of fun to do, especially with a group of people.
Yeah, absolutely. And then just to kind of show you other dining areas, let me zoom out on the map just a little bit here, is you're going to find here what's called Tarpon Point. And Tarpon Point's a very popular place. It's got like places like Gather, Marker 92 restaurant bar, and it's got a marina and like 3 towers of residential living in it. And then at the bottom floors are commercial living, where they have all the stores and restaurants and bars and stuff like that.
You even have a full spa there and everything. So that's a good point while we're mentioning that. So the restaurants and things that we just named along Cape Parkway, those are just kind of right off the roadway there. But what Doug's pointing you at now is if you love the atmosphere of waterfront dining and you want to go to some cool places that are on the water, you definitely want to check out Marker 92. And you also want to check out, just to the left of that, Rum Runners and Fathoms are both excellent places to get a delicious meal and have that really amazing waterfront atmosphere while you dine.
Yeah, it's beautiful, scenic, and you just get that vibe that you get there when you go is awesome.
Paradise vibe.
Yeah, paradise vibe. And there's also waterfront dining down here at the Yacht Club. There's a little tiki bar and stuff down there that you can go, and there's a pier down there you can walk out on and look at the water and stuff like that.
What's also cool about the Yacht Club too, you guys, is if you're thinking about moving to Cape Coral and you don't know anybody yet, they have an amazing thing called a new residents club. So you can go join this club, meet with other new people who are moving to Cape Coral that don't know a soul yet either. And whatever you're into, whether it's sports and athletics or crafts or even just like your pets, they have a club for absolutely everything. I was so blown away when I found out they even have a wiener dog club at the Cape Coral Yacht Club.
Yeah, there's everything there, and it's one of the first places like we were talking about before that got developed, and so they drive new residents there so they can get connected to other residents.
Yeah.
And did we talk about the fun fact of the pizza being the top 10 pizza place?
No, we didn't.
Go ahead.
Another neat thing about Cape Coral, you guys, is that we are in the top 10 places in the nation for our pizza. And the reason for that is because Cape Coral, think about it as this big melting pot. So it's rare that you might actually run into a Floridian who was born and raised here. They are around, right? But it's mostly people from other areas that have moved to the Cape because they want to wear shorts and flip-flops year-round. They love the warm weather. They love the boating and the fishing. And so because of that, we have Chicago-style pizza in the Cape. We have New York-style pizza in the Cape. And we have this amazing place, which we're going to do a spotlight on for you guys later. So we'll go into more depth about that, but it's called Nice Guys. And if you've never heard of it, pizza as you know it, they put a totally different twist on it.
Yeah.
And it is so delicious too. But yeah, one of the top 10 places in the nation for pizza. So if you love pizza like I do, you're going to love Cape Coral.
Yeah, you'll love it. And then last but not least, did we cover everything? And I'll do a market report for everyone.
Yeah, I think we did.
As we said before, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below this video on YouTube, and we'll be happy to get you answers and for whatever your question is. But let's bounce to the market update for Cape Coral, Florida. And let me turn this thing off if I can. Technology's great. Okay. So just to give you an idea, this is the average sales price. A bar chart of the average sales price for like the last 5 years. Okay. And if we go to April of 2020, which is right here, April 2020, you can see that the Cape Coral average price was $305,367. And then if we compare that to go to 2021, April 2021 here, sorry, give me a second. April 2021, it rose to $420,108. And then this year in April, it went to $583,794. And $583,794 represents just under a 40% increase in the average sales price for Cape Coral. And that goes right back to what Lona and I were just telling you about with Cape Coral suddenly going to be built out in the next 10 to 15 years, 11 to 15 years, I think is what they said, because that growth, that expansion, because of COVID and people wanting to come to Florida, because now suddenly they can work virtually, or maybe they want to be a more free, not locked down as much and stuff like that. Whatever the reason is, these people are coming here and coming in droves, and that's driven up the price quite a bit. Now that's the average price. So if you're below 583,000 or you can't afford it, don't worry. That's the average. That means there's homes that are cheaper. But what we don't want, and we do get this a lot of people call us and say, I want a 2,000 square foot pool home, and I want it for 250,000. Well, that's not doable here for the most part.
That doesn't exist anymore, you guys.
So you have to be willing to give up some things in order to get here sometimes to fit your budget. But once you get here and you gain equity really fast, because as you see, home prices went up 40%. Now that's not our normal market. Our normal market's right around 10% increase every year, which is still cooking when you compare that to other parts of the country. So when we get back to normal, we'll be between that 10, 15, some areas will be 20% a year. And that's what you'll see, but that's great appreciation. And if you're willing to kind of sacrifice for a couple of years, you can take that equity and roll it into a bigger house in a few years or whatever. So some people use that strategy.
Now I will say, just to add on to that if you do have a pretty healthy budget for buying a home and you're looking for a waterfront property, Cape Coral, even though our prices have skyrocketed, much like the rest of Florida, it kind of used to be this secret little place. People knew about Fort Myers and Fort Myers Beach and Tampa and surrounding areas. But the Cape's not a secret anymore. And it has needed to rise in appreciation for some time to get to the level it should be. But it is still one of the most affordable areas in Florida for waterfront homes. And guys, that all goes back to supply and demand. It has more waterfront properties than anywhere else in the world. So you can still get the best price, in my opinion, in Cape Coral if you're looking on the water.
Absolutely. I agree with that 110%. There's still deals to be had. We're helping clients all the time accomplish those deals, find those homes. And we're more than willing to help you get to that point. So don't be discouraged by that. Just talk to us and we'll show you what's out there and see if we can find you a home. Another interesting stat that I want to point out is the days on market, the average days on market. Okay, I want to show you what's happened to the days on market. You can kind of see there's a trending line here. The average days on market before COVID, so all the way up to, let's see, right about 2019. At the end of 2019, you can see the days dropped a little bit. Actually, yeah, the beginning of 2020, COVID, it was at 74 days. Now look what happened.
So 74 days was normal.
Yeah, our average days on market. And then look what happened after that.
And that was February 2020. So that was
Yeah.
right before COVID officially hit.
Yep. And then January 2021, look what the days on market was, 34 days.
So almost in half.
Yep. And then August of 2021, we hit this bottom out point, 16 days on market. And then as of April, 16 days. And now that's the average. The median is less than that. It was like 5 days. And we just want to point out, we want to explain the days on market. Every time a house gets listed here, for the most part, we're seeing multiple offers like within a day. If a house is, well, I should say, if the house is a great house and it's priced right and it looks good and nothing's wrong with it, it goes super fast. We're getting multiple offers in that first 24 hours. So that 16 days, a lot of times, is just getting offers, negotiating with the, you know, all the offers and getting the highest and best, and then getting to that pending point. So you don't have 16 days to make a deal on a house that you really like. You really have hours.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when that thing goes on the market and it's active and it's got all these showings on it, and then offers start flooding in, there's usually a period in between there where the listing agent will talk to the sellers, and the sellers will say, my gosh, you know, we need some time to decipher through all of these offers, and we want people to bring their best offer to the table, you know, their highest and best. So they'll give a little period of time to collect all of that and give everybody an opportunity to put their best foot forward. And then at that point, they decide who they want to work with, which offer they're going to go into negotiations with. And then they come to an executed contract and it gets marked as pending on the MLS. So yeah, you definitely don't have 16 days to decide. I see in April of 2022, that's actually 5 days.
Yeah, so because I switched it to median, and why I think median is more accurate is because we're taking out those homes that had really long marketing times for whatever reason. Maybe something was wrong with them, or maybe they were the sellers that were like, they're playing the lottery and they just want to see if they can get $1 million for their $500,000 house. You still have those in every market. And so if you take out those few homes like that, you can see that the median days on market was only 5 days. So I think that's more accurate. So if you find a home, you've got to move on it. Still in this market, is it cooling down a little bit? Yeah, we're feeling a little bit of a cool down. It doesn't feel like we're getting as many offers, and some of the buyers are keeping some more contingencies in there because of interest rates. So they're being more careful and they're being more picky, and that's to be expected. So just so you know that's what's happening. So that's the market update for Cape Coral for now, and we'll do more in the future. But I do want to share one other thing. We didn't talk about boating access.
Oh yes, very important.
Everybody wants to know how, boating access. I'm coming here and I want water in my backyard. What's the best place to buy a house and have a boat? If I have a boat. So I'm going to pull out the old vanishing pin here, and we're going to go back to the Yacht Club. This is probably the most desirable area for boating. And thus you will find that like the average price here in the Yacht Club is more around $800,000 for a regular home. And that's nothing special. That's an older home with,
it could be a tear down.
It could be a tear down, depending on where it's located. So to get a house at that price, and they don't come on the market very often. So when they do, you got to jump on it. But it's because of the boating access. You're out to the Caloosahatchee River real fast. This is called the Miserable Mile through here, which you're not allowed to go very fast because of manatees and their protected zone. So you have to go real slow. So boating access, you can see this main canal right here. This is called Bimini Basin right here. And Bimini Basin is a site where they're developing and doing more commercial waterfront space with residential above it. It's going to be a really neat area. more waterfront dining along here. People say it's going to be similar to Tarpon Point. I don't know about that, but you can find those plans online. But that is the most desirable. And then you have,
because you're just minutes to the Gulf, right? Those homes are located so close to the river there that you're at the river in 5 or 10 minutes. It's fast.
Depending on where you're at right here in this yacht club. Yeah, you're really fast. And then you come down here and out around Punta Rasa, and you can go intercoastal and do fishing in the intercoastal or inshore fishing, or you can come around to Sanibel and hang out at Sanibel, Fort Myers Beach, or go out
St. James City. You have so many options from right there.
Yeah, and do offshore fishing. So that tends to be the most desirable area. And then right here, these areas are really nice in the Southeast Cape, just to the east of Del Prado. But the farther up you go, the more miserable the mile gets, because all this is pretty much
no wake zone.
Yeah, slow. Not all of it. There's some you can go fast, but there's a lot of protected areas through there.
You got to protect the manatees.
You got to protect the manatees, right? And then to this area over here would be my next area, and this is the Southwest Cape. Very nice part of Cape Coral.
One thing you want to mention though is even as you move towards the southwest side of the Cape, you still have really quick boating access all the way over through, say, Pelican, right?
Yeah.
Show them Pelican.
So Pelican is right here. So if I get the vanishing pen, this is Pelican right here. So this is all considered kind of yacht club from a boating perspective, because these canals dump out into the same canal that all these are on, which is this main canal. And then to the west of that is the Southwest Cape. You start getting over here, very nice areas. But why this would probably be like second place from a boating perspective for a lot of people is because there is right now, currently there's a lock right here. And that lock opens, I forget what the intervals are, but for the most part it's open. But what happens is sometimes you get a line of boats trying to get in and out of that lock. And so that slows down the access getting in and out. If that doesn't bother you, then
they've been talking about taking that thing out forever.
Yeah.
I believe they even got approval on taking it out, but I don't know if COVID slowed that down, but for whatever reason, it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, or kind of a legal fight. I think some people are putting up. I'm not really sure, but if that gets removed, I think the values up here will be increased as well of homes, because you won't have to deal with that anymore. But you see all these canals up along here. Now it's important to know that the further up here you get, the longer it takes to get out here to the river, right? So we had some friends that lived right here, and it took about 45 minutes to kind of put things in perspective for you. 45 minutes to come up here and out here and down along this canal and out through the lock. And that was like 45-minute boat ride. And so when you get up here, you're easily an hour to an hour and a half, roughly, depending. And you come along what's called the spreader. It's this canal that goes along the outside of Cape Coral right here and floats along through the lock there.
Now, I will say that's a beautiful boat ride because you've got the preserve right there, and there's a lot of nature and things like that. So that is still a very super desirable area. That's right off of Surfside Boulevard, and they call that Millionaire Row, right?
Yes.
Because it's just multi-million-dollar home, one right after another along that strip. So just because it's a little bit of a longer boat ride, it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just where you want to be in the Cape and how long you want to be in your boat before you actually dump out into the river and you can get over to the Gulf.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. It basically means that it depends on
personal preference.
Yeah, personal preference, exactly. And then you have up here the next, and this could be a tie with Southwest Florida. I'm not saying any one's better because, again, that's a preference thing. But here is the Northwest Cape, and the canal to get out is right here where you see Matlacha. So I'm going to zoom in actually, right there.
Yep.
So you can kind of see. This is the Northwest Cape right here. And so this spreader right here is the main canal. It comes down along, and all these canals in here attached to this. And you come out and you come down and come out right here, and you're in the intercoastal or what's called Matlacha Pass. Matlacha is a really cool area. We'll do a video on sometime for you all. but beautiful. And then you come out from Matlacha Pass, and then you come out around Bakelia and out to the outer coastal if that's where you want to go, or you just stay on the intercoastal. So this area is kind of protected. If you want to look at that, that's one benefit. It's protected by Pine Island right there. And this area is really growing. Like this Northwest Cape is where all the major growth is happening right now in Cape Coral. And if you can kind of see right here where my cursor is, they call this the 7 Islands, and the 7 Islands is getting developed, and they're saying that's going to be like a Tarpon Point, where there's going to be towers with residential above and commercial waterfront dining and restaurants, shopping and things like that right there. So that's in the future plans right there as well. Cape Coral currently owns that. So
now, if you're not a Gulf access kind of person, and you're like, hey, I don't really need to go to the Gulf, I don't really need to go to the beach, I just want to get in my boat and go out on the lake and throw my fishing pole in or ride my jet ski around for the day, right?
And you see all these bigger blue areas. These are like freshwater lakes, and there's a lot of fresh water right here in the middle of the Cape. Here's 4 lakes up here, and so there's a whole network of stuff. If you want to do freshwater fishing, Cape is great for that too, because we definitely do have those freshwater canal system as well. Here's the thing about it, guys and gals watching. If it is kind of can be a complicated thing when it comes to boating, and so it's important to talk to people or real estate experts that know the boating here in Cape Coral. Lona and I know the boating, and we know it very well. We've been boating and selling properties via boat for years now here in Cape Coral, and we boat almost every weekend out here in Southwest Florida. So we love it. And there's just a lot to consider, whether it's flood walls, whether your flood zones, how long it takes to get out to the water, tides.
Is there enough depth to fit your size boat? Bridge
heights, there's just so much stuff to consider when it comes to boating. So make sure you talk to some real estate agents or experts that know that part of living in the Cape.
Talk to us.
Yes, absolutely. Talk to us. Anything else that you think we might have left out?
Oh man,
we covered a lot
that
today.
I can think of right away. I think we got the gist of it covered.
Yep. So any questions? Again, drop them in the comments there on the YouTube video. We hope you learned a lot. And if you're thinking about moving here, reach out to us. We'll put our information at the bottom of the screen. And if you just have questions, reach out to us. We're not high pressure, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. We just want to help you and be that informational resource for you, and hopefully help you make that move to our paradise.
And share our love of Southwest Florida with you.
That's right. So I'm Doug Lugers.
I'm Lona Lugers.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again on our next video.